Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Royal Instinct. Today we're going to be watching a couple of videos on why women get paid to exist and why men pay for everything. Why is that the way of the world right now? We are living in times of crisis. We are going through it all. Everything is going to shit in front of you. You just need to look at the problems in the Middle East being created by people in charge of the countries that you're living in charge of decision makings, where you are you feel the effects in your real life about what is going on, but you have no control whether to start this war, whether to stop this war, how the war is maneuvered, because we tend to defer to people in power because we believe that those people know best. We elect those people, those officials, in order to guide us to some utopian future, some better future where everything will be great, that where people get to live great lives. Most people just want to work, make some money and then enjoy their life, right? And that is why we elect these officials, in order to provide that for us. But many of them are letting us down. Why are they letting us down? Okay, you have to look at how the world is structured. You need to look at how the world really works, and the elites are in cahoots with each other. The elites are in bed with each other. They only care about the people at the top, okay, their own class, who they deal with. You need to look into the World Economic Forum and see how they are connected at the top. Governments, the biggest conglomerates and corporations of the world, how they are all in bed with one another, scratching each other's backs, in order to make more money for themselves, in order for them to get a bigger slice of the pie, and leave the little guy, the people at the bottom, to fend for themselves, to get strip them of all their resources and throw them out to the wolves, without any disregard for their humanity. Okay, that is where we are right now, right? And in terms of this videos that we're going to watch today is why are they so power hungry? Why are they so money hungry? Because that is how the world works. So money is access to resources, money is access to power, money is access to safety. Okay, and the biggest thing that women look for is safety, right? They want to protect themselves, okay, and the more luxury goods that they have around themselves, the more protected they feel, okay, because um the wealthiest people provide them with luxury goods. The wealthiest people in the world, the most powerful people, surround themselves with luxury goods, right? And if you surround yourself with luxury, right, women will find that very, very attractive, okay? And that is why women run towards luxury goods so much. That is why they want luxury in their life so much, because really, in essence, it is a cry for help. In essence, it is a feeling of they want to be taken care of, they want to be looked after, they want to feel safe, right? Who has the most luxury? Who has the most power? Okay, it is a king. And that is what we are all about here at Raw Instinct. We are setting ourselves up as kings, to be seen as kings, um, to exert power over other people as kings, to build territories and kingdoms as kings. That is what I'm all about. That is what we are all about here on this channel. I'm somebody who, tries to live a normal life. I just wanted, to get married, have a few kids, have a good job, and just, enjoy my life as a normal person in life, right? I wasn't allowed to be ambitious when I was younger. I was really suppressed. I was, in essence, put into a position where I was, during my teenage years, forced to work against my will. I'm somebody who really had to, had all confidence beaten out of them. I'm somebody who really had a lot of, you know, any self-esteem that I had was really beaten out of myself, because, even my parents said, oh, like, you can't achieve anything because that is not the type of people that we are. Right. So that is the background that I came from. And it always really bugged me. Right. I always wanted something more. I always wanted something better. And, I thought education and, working hard was my way out of it, right? So, I got an education, I done, very well. And then I went and got a corporate job, climbed the corporate ladder, worked in finance, worked for some of the biggest banks in the world. And when the more higher I climbed, the more money I was making. I literally understood that, oh, this is just a glorified factory job, right? This is just a glorified slave, right? That is all I am, right? And then once I realized that I'm never going to get to the upper echelons of the world, I decided to throw down my gauntlet in order to, carve out my own piece, my own kingdom in this world, right? Because that is how the world really works. You have to take and take what you really want. You have to go for it. You have to beat your enemies, right? And if you don't have an army, if you don't have a kingdom, you will always suffer, right? Which is what we are all about here. We are about raising armies, raising awareness, um, being seen as points of authority, right? We are becoming real leaders, and leadership is what the world needs. And once you have all that, once you have the authority, once you have a position of power, once you're seen as a king and build a kingdom, then it is only natural that women will line up and want to be with you. Why do they want to be with a king? Because all women see themselves as a queen. And if you see yourself as a queen, it is only natural that the best person for your to be by your side, or for you to be by the side of that person, is a king, right? They don't want to be next to, a slave, a warrior. They don't want to be next to a jester. They don't want to be next to a knight. No, they want to pick the king, because that is who has the most power. And that is what we are going for here on this channel. If you understand what it is that I'm doing, if you understand what it is that I'm saying, then reach out to me. You need to establish your kingdom, which is what I can help you with. But let's jump into this first video. So this is a video I came across. Basically, this woman made a video about just how to get paid to exist, and she is a very attractive woman. She is using her feminine charm, she's using her sexuality in order to extract money from men. Is she a sugar baby? Is she a gold digger? We will find out in this episode. But it's just the weight of the world, right? Like, she is positioning herself as a sexual object. She is positioning herself as a very feminine entity, a feminine woman, and she is looking for the best candidate to take care of her needs, to take care of her financial needs, which is why you need money, which is why you need power. And if she had the choice between a billionaire and a king, she will always choose a king, because she likes the fact that that person has power, which is why we are building kingdoms on this channel. We are taking over from the evil elites. We are taking over the globe. We are the new de facto rulers of this earth.
Listen, I believe in creating a reality that actually works for you. Being a woman comes with a major benefit, and you need to know how.
And she is speaking the truth. Being a woman is a major benefit if you, because you are born with a pair of tits, because you are born with a hot body that many men who work very hard are willing to pay to fight over you, who are willing to pay for you. And I just mean pay in a sexual prostitution way. I'm talking about they're willing to wine and dine you. They're willing to buy you gifts. Okay. That is a form of, I guess, escorting, prostitution, but it's more sugaring, right? It is being treated well for your looks, for your existence, in order to have access to that person, right? And that is what money buys you. It buys you access to females. Many people see it as simping, many people see it as tricking, and you have to really look into what everybody tricks, right? Any celebrity that you look at, they trick, right? Dan Bilzerian, right? All those models that were with him, right, on those flights, on those trips abroad, he was paying them. They were on his payroll, and then they were happy to have sex with him. Okay, he was tricking. He wasn't angry about it. He didn't make a song fuss about it. Okay, he had one of the best legendary runs in bedding some of the hottest women in the world. And that is really the truth of the world. The fact is, right, most people won't admit to it. Okay, they'll think that, oh, they're getting all these women because they're charming. It's no, they're getting because they're all tricking. That is how the world works. You need to really face reality, really look at what is going on. And because we are establishing ourselves as kings, right, we are positioning ourselves as people who naturally women want to be with, because if you're a king, you have access to all the resources, you have access to power, and you have access to all the money and a luxury lifestyle.
How to use it. One, your beauty is currency, and two, your knowledge is power. You merge those two things together and you are unstoppable. You can actually get paid to exist, and we're gonna discuss it all today.
You know, why does she have a tits out? Why is she looking very, very pretty on this video? Because she is advertising herself, right? I'm not in any form berating her. I'm not in any form condemning her, right? I'm not saying, oh, look how horrible the way she's acting. I'm like, no, man. That is, she knows how hot she is. She knows men are willing to pay with their wallet for her. Um, you know, and I'm just like, I just see it as okay, that's a fact, right? She's hot. She's willing to get men to pay for her, right? Pay her for her dates, pay for her flights, pay for her clothes, her nails, whatever, right? Um, and I'm just not angry about it, right? Most people, most of these red pill people, and we're gonna go into a few red pill videos in a minute, right? Like they're really hating. They're really like it's so unfair. Like, oh no, like these women are just horrible. The reason most men complain is because they're broke. And that is the real fact of the matter, right? That they are broke, that they can't compete in the market right now. Okay. Dating is broken, right? You know, there's a dating crisis. Many men are single, many men are lonely, many men have no way of being part of the dating market. And the reason they don't have any way, um, you know, any entry into the dating market is because of inflation, right? Like the governments are stealing away your wealth, your money, and they are recouping all the benefits because they are parking their money in assets. They are taking advantage of any stock market dips, any increases, any decreases in currency. They are positioning themselves in a way that they are extracting money from you without you even noticing. And then that is why you're being priced out of the dating market. Okay. It is because you are sleepwalking your way into a position where you will have no options, right? These women are just lining up for the next hot, rich guy, okay? And that is all it is, right? And we are at a time where if you haven't established yourself as a king, if you haven't established yourself as a kingdom, if you haven't established yourself to position yourself in a place where you can get resources for yourself, where you can get money for yourself, you will be left behind. And I mean, this channel is not for people, you know, it's not for everyone. It's not for people to, you know, I'm not hoping to heal the world, to help everybody. It's like, nah, man, I'm looking for 100 people. I'm looking for 100 people to who understand what I'm doing, right? Who want to stand alongside me to reap all the benefits, to come up with a new system to rule, a new system to live, a new place to live, right? We are developing new nations. We are buying private islands so that when shit hits the fan, that we are protected, that we are able to escape. And then, you know, when there is a war everywhere else and we are free, we're outside the jurisdiction of the evil elites, right? All the hot women would want to come where we are. Okay. So if you want to have a winner takes all mindset, if you want to be a person who is a winner, who is positioning themselves, right? Because the next few years, it will get really, really ugly. There'll be huge financial crashes. There'll be huge, major problems across the world. If you think Iran right now is a problem, if the Middle East is concerning you, you have no idea what is in store for you. Wait till China and Russia get involved, and then shit will get really ugly. Okay. And then, you know, if you don't have a private island, don't expect no bitches. Okay. That is how the world
Think
works.
of people like Megan Sussex, Martha Stewart, and even Georgina Rodriguez. They all have something in common. These women have used their essence and turned it into power. I am going to walk you guys through today how exactly you can do that no matter what your lifestyle is. We are living in very trying times. So if you're not audacious, if you're
Right, and look, this is from a woman. She is saying, I've been saying it on this channel for a long time now, that we are living in trying times, we're living in times of crisis, and she is saying it herself, right? But she has no ability to conquer. She has no ability to, you know, take over the world. Is she as ambitious as I am? No way, right? And I don't expect her to be, okay? But she is looking for those people, right? If she came across this channel, she would realize that, oh, okay, this is a guy who is ambitious. This is a guy who is conquering. And this is a guy who is establishing new territories, who is winning in life. she'll be like, hey, can I can I come chill in your castle? Can I come chill in your private island? Can I chill on your beach? Right. That is how her mind works, right? And she is just looking for the best option. Okay. It's not because she is a horrible person. It's not because she is a gold digger or anything like that. It's like, she's a very attractive woman. What's my best option? That's all she's thinking, right? And why wouldn't she, right? If you were a man in her position, you would do the same.
You're not bold and you don't persist on, you will not get paid. Closed mouths.
Yeah, look, man, it comes from her mouth. She will not get paid, right? That is how women see a relationship. She's like, well, if I get into this relationship with this man, am I going to get paid? Am I going to get taken care of, right? And all those things requires money, right? So don't be angry, don't be jealous, don't become one of these bitter black pill people. Don't become a fucking look smaxer. Don't become a incel. Don't become a red pill hater, a red pill rager. Don't become a fresh and fit guy. Any of these fucking losers, right? Like, just accept for how the world works, right? And establish a kingdom, right? We all have the opportunity. Every man has it within themselves to do so, which is what I'm all about. If you're somebody who has no idea how to go about this, but has the ambition to do it, right? Great. I can help you. We can remove the self doubt. We can remove the fears that are holding you back. And then you are fully able to unleash your charisma onto the world, your personality onto the world, and be seen as a king, as the great person that you are. Okay. Then many people will line up, many women will line up to be part of your life because you are a king, because you are the person who's willing to take risks and take the throne.
Never get fed. So my tips today can be applicable to any woman who is chasing their dreams and trying to become their best selves. Getting paid to exist is an art, it's a skill, and you can do it if you actually put in the effort.
This is woman's self-improvement, by the way, right? If you watch all these self-improvement channels for guys, it's like, go to the gym, right? Be good at business, right? Learn how to network, learn how to fight, right? Make yourself make yourself as strong as possible. Make yourself as socially well connected as possible, right? All she's going to tell you is how to be a nice, pleasant person, right? How to be a nice, pleasant person that's easy to get along with and is very attractive. Okay. And plastic surgery can do half of that job anyway. So it's not that you have to even try it. Okay. You just have to have enough money to be able to afford it. I mean, the standards and the work required for a man to accomplish men's self-improvement is, is extremely hard. And many men are suffering mental health issues because of it, because of crazy standards that they can't meet. A woman's beauty standards, right? When she feels the pressure of not being able to live up to women's beauty standards, in essence, is she can't afford plastic surgery, right? Because even Kim Kardashian, who is the like the bar, she set the bar for women's beauty over the last the last 15 years, really, if you look at it. She got it via plastic surgery. She got her nose done about 3 times. She got her ass done, about 4 or 5 times. She got her tits done, liposuction, Ozempic, all that shit, right? And she has access to it because she's got the money to do it. So if you're a woman who can't live up to the beauty standards of society, it just means that you don't have money, right? That's all it means, right? And how did most of these women get the money to do those things? They're tricking, right? They're selling themselves, right? They're escorting, they're sugaring, whatever it takes, right? And that is the way of the world right now. Okay, and many people will think, oh, that is so misogynistic, that is so such a crass way of looking at the world, of looking at women. Look, I'm not making the rules. Okay, if I made the rules, life will be a romance novel. Okay, life will be a fairy tale, but I don't make the rules, right? I'm just somebody who's looked at the world and be like, okay, I see what is happening over here, right? I can see what you're doing, right? And then I'm just like, okay, if that is the rules, if that's the game that we're playing, then I'm positioning myself in a way to take over in order for myself to win, right? Which is what we are all about on this channel. Okay, we are winning, the kings on this channel. the royal alliance that I am forming, the royal alliance of kings, the Amichis that I am collecting, the bat signal I'm sending to the world. Okay, I'm looking for 100 kings to join me to stand shoulder to shoulder. So when the wars to come begin, when the shit hits the fan, that we are standing tall, standing proud, standing shoulder to shoulder, ready to take on our enemies and become the de facto rulers of the earth.
Let's get into it. Something I really stress the importance of on my channel is mental health and how important it is. I have definitely prioritized it the older I've gotten, and I want to share different sponsors here on the channel that I think,
You know, she's setting a standard for women to be like, look, man, you need to, attract these wealthy men. You need to, get your money up. You need to start gold digging, right? But like the toll on your mental health, right? Which is why then you have to fucking join BetterHelp, right? In truthful, if you meet a guy, if you are with somebody who is a king, a woman's mental health is taken care of. Okay, the man that you're with should be able to take care of your mental health. He should be able to put you in a state to provide for you in a way that you are, um, any stresses that you have, right? He is able to alleviate them for you. He is able to put you in a place where you feel safe, where you feel taken care of, where you are able to express your true nature. Okay. And you can't do that if you are full of stress, full of cortisol. If you are always worrying about the next paycheck, if you're worrying about the next bills that you need to pay, right? That is a man's job. That is what we are doing here at Royal Instinct. We are taking care of our people. We are taking care of our loved ones. We are taking care of the people who are within our kingdoms. Okay. The citizens, the people who make our economies run. We are establishing new laws. We are establishing new ways of being, of living, of reaching freedom, because we took the risk, right? You watching, who's doing fuck all, you could have done it. It could have been you. It could have been you, but you decided not to do anything. And I decided to take it all. Okay. I am the one who is winning. I am the one who is making great connections. I'm the one who people reach out to when they are in times of crisis, when they are like, look, man, like, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing, but I want to do what the fuck you're doing. I want to be part of your team. I want to join you. I want to be your friend. Okay, and there's a loneliness crisis. People don't have any real friends, right? Even if you think you have fucking friends, they're not your real friends. I'm telling you now, all those people, they are talking shit behind your back. They are talking, they are hoping that you fail, whatever business venture that you're starting. They are looking for your downfall so that they can laugh at you. And when you stay small, then they feel more adequate in this world. Those are the type of people that we run away from. We do not allow ourselves to be around those people. We are looking for ambitious people, people who understand struggle, people who understand winning, people who want to work hard and try their best in life to reach the maximum elite spots that there are in this world. We are creating the elite spots. Okay, we are going to create a network of 100 kings, and I want you to be a part of it, right? When I say you, I don't know what your name is right now, okay? But you will let me know, because those people who have that ambition, when they hear my voice, when they hear what the fuck I'm saying, they'll be like, that guy knows what I'm talking about, okay? And then they'll reach out to me, and then be, and then be like, look, man, I'm working at it too. And then together we start sharing creative ideas. We start coming together, forming connections, forming friendships, right? Forming alliances. And then, when times get tough, right? Who are they going to turn to? Me, right? It's going to be us, right? And then everybody else who's busy, down the pub, you know, eating junk food, like gooning in the room, not taking any action, supporting the fucking evil people. Like if you're a fan of Elon Musk, I mean, it's game over for you anyway, right? Like, because he's not going to take care of you. He is just robbing you blind, right? So if you want to be somebody, if you want to take action, if you ever thought that in life that there is something great that you are capable of, this is your moment. Okay, and you're never going to get a better moment than this. I'm giving you the opportunity. I'm willing to help you. I'm willing to help you. This channel ain't for me. This channel is for you, right? And if you are willing to help yourself, if you are willing to go through it, if you're willing to, be a little bit uncomfortable, then I will help you. We will push you forward. We will make you into a subject matter expert. Okay. And that is what we're all about here on this channel. We are turning towards being subject matter experts. We are then turning ourselves into authorities, points of authorities. And when we have authority, and we are natural leaders, are seen as leaders, it is only natural that we are establishing kingdoms and are seen as kings.
Align with enough to have something insurance, identity, availability, per session within. They have it accessible, access therapy, and you're not afraid of showing up and you're not afraid of speaking and being a person who is in the room. You must exist in this world and not just in your bubble in order to get paid to exist. You need to put yourself out there. Be someone who understands the meaning of.
And what does she mean by putting herself out there? Okay, you need to be able to be hot enough for you to get thousands of followers on Instagram. Okay, you need to get your tits out, you need to get your ass out. It is all about showing skin. It is all about being sexual, because that is what rich men want. That is what wealthy men want. They want hot, hot, hot women, right? Don't be an ugly bitch. Don't think that you're gonna, oh, I've got a great career. No one's wanking over your career. Okay, nobody is getting a boner because you are a doctor, because you are have an engineering degree. Nobody's getting a boner of any of that shit. Okay, it is all about tits and ass. It's all about being nice. It's all about having a nice smile and being pleasant to be around. Okay, and that is what this woman is saying. That is the dream that she's saying. That is what she's all about. She'll make a great queen for anyone, right? She is hot. I mean, just look at her, right? She is hot. She is attractive. She's got great skin, great hair, great tits. You know, wouldn't you want to make her your queen? Wouldn't you want to have her by your side? Okay, raising your children. That is all that men want. That is all that we need.
Proximity and showing up and walking into the actual rooms.
Okay, who is she showing up for? She is showing up for kings. She's not showing up for you. She is showing up for us here at Royal Instinct. She is showing up, walking into the room. She wants to attract us. She is doing all this effort to gain my favor, to gain our favor, to be part of our lives.
You want to be a part of. A huge reason why you're getting in your own way is because you have been conditioned to value what others think of you. Now, I'm not going to say.
And basically, other women judge other women and call them sluts. They slut shame them. They basically hold them back, in order to try to put fear in their brains, into their minds, so that they are not overtly sexual. And then that woman, the other woman who's shaming her, is able to get the man that they're both competing for. Okay, we as kings, we don't care. We position ourselves so that whoever wants to be part of our lives, they can compete against each other and the winner stays on. Okay, allow yourself to be surrounded by many women. Allow yourself to have many women around you competing for you. Okay, you know, when you go on a date, don't go on a date with just one woman, right? Go on date with all the women in your phone book, right? Invite 20 women out for a date. Okay, and you know, when you turn up and there's 20 other women there, half of them will leave because half of them don't want to compete. Okay, half of them will look at all the other women, they'll get so self-conscious, they'll be like, fuck this, I'm not pretty enough, and then they'll just go home. Okay, they'll call you a pig. All right, fair enough, we don't give a fuck. As kings, we do not care what other people think of us. And then, you know, there's 10 women left, and then those 10 women are literally you know, trying to be nice, trying to be fake, trying to, you know, form alliances within those groups. And then you have to kind of, you know, you're just a judge. You're just there sitting back, watching everything unfold. And then over time, slowly and slowly, that group of 10 gets whittled down into 5, into 3, into 4, into 2, right? And then you end up with about 2, 3 women in your orbit at all times who are perfect for you, who want you to win, who understand that you need other women in your life, that you have a harem, that they are, you know, they have the privileges of a queen, but they are part of your harem, part of your stable, part of your inner circle, and they are happy with that
Here
position.
and say that what others think of you means nothing. It does mean something, but let it mean something based off of what you want it to mean. And what I mean by this is, if you want to be someone who gets paid for existing, why don't you start valuing what those who you are trying to get paid from, what they think of you?
Do you hear that, right? So she's clever, this woman, right? Because she's like, if you as a woman want to get paid for existing, Why are you not doing the things that those men who are paying are looking for? Right. And what are those men looking for? Right. When you are a man who has options, when you are a man who is a king, right? What are you looking for? Right. I don't want to have a conversation with a woman. Right. So you don't need to be smart. You don't need to hold a conversation. Right. Just need to be a kind person. You need to be a very pleasant person. You just need to be a very fun person. Okay. And I don't mean like you need to tell me jokes. Okay. But just be up for whatever I'm up for. If I want to go play mini golf, oh yeah, that's so fun. You come along. If I want to go to the cinema, you come to the cinema. If I want to go fucking for a drink, you come for a drink. Okay. If I want to go surfing, you're like, yeah, I love surfing. Right. Whatever I like, you have to like. Okay. And that is how the world works, right? Don't you just want that? Don't you just want somebody very easy, very pleasant, willing to try shit, willing to experience new shit? Okay. Like imagine like you want to go fucking horse riding, right? Like you want to go in the forest, do a trek, horse riding, outback in Australia. And then she's like, oh, I don't like doing that. Okay. All right, cool. You don't want to do that. There's plenty of women who will take your place. Okay. So it's all about just being pleasant, being respectful, reciprocating. If I'm showing you affection, show some back. You know, that is what all we need. We are very simple creatures. Don't ruin it. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't try to think we need smarts, that we need equivalent men. Don't think like a man, think like a fucking woman.
Rather than the people who really do not benefit your life in any kind of way that has to do with your success, your ambition, and even just the dreams that you're chasing. Once you realize that you can design yourself in a way where you are seen however you want to be, based off of your hobbies, based off of your interests, based off of how you look, based off of the things that you care about, when you actually realize that you can create your own personal reality and the perception of it, you won't be so obsessed with what other people are thinking. So what people put out is technically what they're feeling inside, and it has very little to do with you. So the more that you value what random people are thinking, the less paid you're gonna get. I want you guys to think about beauty standards and what is considered objectively beautiful, and then what is considered beautiful because she's the best looking person in that town. I want you to think about yourself as good enough, and that is your selling point. You don't need to necessarily be the best. You just need to convince people that you are.
Did you hear just what she said? You don't need to be the best. You just need to convince people that you are, right? So it's not even like 50% of women in the world are pretty, right? And the rest of them need to lose some weight. The rest of them just need to do their makeup better, right? So it's very easy for a woman to be actually attractive, right? It's not that hard, difficult, right? We're not talking about being models. We're talking about being attractive enough for a man, right? So it's not very, very difficult because men will sleep with a fucking anything, right? We have different needs. What we need is likability, right? The great Patrice O'Neill once said, you know, a man is lovable, but a woman needs to be likable. And what he meant by that is men, just by being men, women will love us because we are kings, because we are positioning ourselves as people who are in charge, because we are positioning ourselves as people who run the world, right? That is what we're doing here on this channel. But women, we don't care if you're lovable. We don't want to love you. We just need to be, you just need to be likable, right? Because when you first meet a person, you get attracted to them because of what you like about them, right? Not what you love about them. And because of the things that you like about that person, right? She needs to just remain being likable, right? Don't start being a fucking bitch afterwards, right? Nobody's a bitch when you meet them, right? All that shit comes out afterwards. Okay. So remain likable. Make us want you, make us want you to have you around us. Okay. So the onus is on you. Be likable, be respectable, be a person that we want to see you around. Let's jump into this video quickly. Hang on.
Awkward, weird feeling that women want to use them for your money. Sir, you can't use yourself for your money. Keep the change that you got. When women say they want a man with money and a provider, they're talking about career men, men that make great money, men who don't care about spending money. For you men that, these women are just going to use you for your hard-earned money. Trust me, bozo. Keep the change. Nobody.
Yeah, if you're just an average guy, if you're just an average person, and you're worried that a woman's going to use you for your money, you're not even getting on a date. Okay, if you are struggling, if you are, like in life, the type of life that you should live is what you can afford. Okay, and if it bothers you spending, more than $100 on a date on a meal, like in today's market, in today's society, you're not going to be able to date a woman. I'm sorry. Okay, you're better off just paying an escort for the service, because I mean you're going to get the same service, but you're guaranteed sex, and you'll walk away more happier, right? And I'm not shit. I'm not taking a shit on you, right? I'm not taking the piss. I'm just saying that like how the world is right now. Okay, if I was somebody who isn't establishing a kingdom, isn't becoming a king, then yeah, man, like dating it wouldn't be for me, right? But we aren't asking women out. We are waiting for the women to come to us. Okay. And as long as you stay building your kingdom, and that structure keeps getting stronger and stronger and bigger, and becoming finalized, women will see that and be like, okay, like that guy's going on over there. Let me go over there and check out what's going on. Right. And women, if you've got nothing going on, women will look over there, and they'll look straight through you and be like, they look over here and then walk that way. Okay, because you need to have something going on. You need to be establishing kingdom. You need to be seen as a conqueror.
Nobody wants it. Trust me when we say you're good and you're safe. God bless and stay in your fucking lane.
YouTube, what it do? It's some boy stuff. This is what I want to talk about today, right? The poppy.
And this guy, Steph is cold. I've seen him many years on YouTube. He is a red pill PUA content creator. But he hates the game. He hates how it is. He hates the situation, right? And you can't be hating it. You can't be hating life. We never hate life on this channel. We are going for it. We're going for our dreams. Everything. If someone says no to us, we laugh. Because we know that tomorrow we are getting stronger, we are getting bigger, we are getting wealthier, and we are building stronger and stronger foundations for our castles, for our kingdoms, and we will be the eventual winners.
Don dude, right? And I put him on my story because some dudes think I put him on my story because I be agreeing with him and stuff like that. I just like to get certain point of views across and get everyone's opinion on who he is and stuff like that, right? It's a specific video that I played in the beginning of this video, and he said that men can't even pay themselves back.
Yeah, because dating is an investment, right? You are paying for the for women to be around you, to have the right woman around you, because you don't want a fatty around you, do you? You don't want a fat, ugly bitch around you, which is why you're paying for the beauty. You're paying for the pleasant demeanor that she brings, a pleasant aura that she brings. You are paying for her niceness. Okay, you want positivity around you. You don't want negativity. You don't want obesity. You don't want those things.
Women want men who make great money and that have great careers. They don't want broke men. So shut up and put your money back. Keep your change. So this is my thing. What is great money? So I asked women, what's great money? I DM a couple women. I'm actually doing a poll right now on my Instagram. And one woman told me good money to her is 10 to 20K a month. 10 to 20K a month is great money to her. That's a lot of money. So when we look up these statistics of what percentage of a man or families in America, what percentage do they make six figures with? It shows only 5%. 5%. Now, that's not including race. That's not including if you're a man or a female. So if we want to break it down by race, black men making six figures and higher That's extremely low. But when you have dudes like Poppy Don, who are selling women dreams, telling women that don't talk to brokey. If he can't finance your life, he's a brokey. So now it's brainwashing these women to believe these come in these relationships. I'm not looking to build with no partner. I'm looking for a dude to take care of me.
It's not brainwashing. It is just the way of the world, right? Why do people go to work? For money, right? So they're not getting brainwashed. They're seeing how the world really works, okay? Women aren't these, you know, simple brainwashed creatures who are seeing things on Instagram, who are seeing things on TV, who are seeing things in cinema, in Hollywood, and being influenced by people like Kim Kardashian, to chase money. They're being influenced because they see their parents going to work, fighting over money. All arguments, all divorces, most of the problems in the world are because of lack of finance. All right, and women are very perceptive to that. Right, so they are looking at it and be like, well, okay, when I grow up, I don't want these fucking problems, right? I don't want to be in that situation. So how do I get myself in a better situation? Is by having money, right? So, a career, right, a job is a means to an end, and the end being having more money, right? So why not just jump straight to the fucking wealth and be with the people, be with the ballers, be with the rich millionaires and billionaires here in the world? Okay, so then that you don't even have to fucking work, right? Women shouldn't work, right? And I don't mean because they're not capable of it, because they don't have the testosterone as a man does to do actual physical labor, right? They don't have that capability within them, right? And when women do work, when they do chase careers, it makes them more masculine, right? Because they need to raise their testosterone levels inside their own bodies, right? Which is against their nature. And that is what's leading them to be in a position where they see most men that they are competing with as not even men, right? So you have to remember that these women are looking for better than what they are. They're not looking for equals, they're looking for better what they are, right? So how do you beat anybody in the world? Right? How do you beat anybody at chess? What is the best chess piece in the world, right? The queen, she can run all around the fucking chessboard. The king moves from one square to one square, okay? But you only lose a game when the king is dead, right? The queen can die because the queen can be replaced, right? It's all about being a king, is about establishing a kingdom, right? Do you understand what I'm saying? Right? Most of the people watching this don't have a clue what the fuck I'm going on about. And that's great, because this channel isn't for you. This channel isn't for those people. I'm looking for the people who understand what I'm trying to do, who want to establish a kingdom, who are trying to come up with a new system, and we will become the new de facto rulers of the world. Let's go back to this female talking about how to attract wealth.
Be the prettiest. You don't have to be the smartest. You just need to be unique enough and audacious enough and confident enough to make people think that you really are that person. And that just takes confidence, self-assurance, self-respect, and an audacious spirit that does not fear other people perceiving you. Make people have literally no choice but to accept your presence, because you're not going anywhere. Now, the second point that is so
However, when you are a king, you can get rid of her, right? If she is not meeting your standard, put her on the chopping block, get rid of her, kick her out to the curb, okay? And how could this woman, right? Like for example, how would I end up dating this woman, a woman like that, right? She would reach out to me first. She would like, hey, I like your stuff, I like your content, I like what you're doing. And I'll get a message and I'll be like, oh, that sounds cool. I'm having dinner at this place with some friends when you come along, okay? And then I'll invite my real girlfriend. I'll invite her. I'll invite a few girls I'm seeing, right? I invite this woman, right, and some other potential candidates, right? So it's just be me and about 7 women. Okay, you go on a date, the 7 women, and then most of the women there have no idea what the fuck is going on, right? And then you just act normal, right? You act casual, you talk to everybody, everybody's on the best behavior, everybody's getting to know each other, you introduce everybody. It's a great time, it's a great party, right? You have great food, you have a few drinks, you might go to a club later, get a few bottles, enjoying yourself, having a dance, okay, and then you say goodbye to everybody, right? And you take one of the girls home, whoever you fancy that night, whoever shows you that she was up for spending the night with you, okay. Yeah, and you take that woman home, right? And then next day, you message everyone, did you have a good time? Right, we're going out again the next week, and you keep doing this, right? And every time you go out, you invite all your like these women become your new friends. You invite them out, right? And you're always going out with each other. Eventually, they either want to fuck you or they are kind of disgusted by you. And then if they're disgusted by you or they're not into you, they have other options available. They're seeing other men. They'll stop coming out. Okay, right. So then they're not interested. But if she's interested and she wants to sleep with you, she'll just stick around, right? And then eventually she will let you know. She'll be like, "Oh, when can I get some alone time with you?" Ha 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 ha. And she'll twirl her fucking hair. Okay, she'll let you know if she wants to fuck you, right? So just create an environment for where these women are around you. She's saying where a man can't say no to you, and don't take no for an answer. It's like, if you're a man of options, if you're a man who is living, with a harem, who is creating a harem, who's creating those conditions for you to be surrounded by beautiful women, then these issues won't be a problem for you.
So crucial during this time is to turn your lifestyle and your existence into a brand. I want you to view yourself as someone who is selling what you're doing. And
there you go. She is selling herself. She is selling her ass. She is selling her pussy. She is selling her tits. And that is what Instagram is all about. It's all about brand. It's all about creating that image, creating a fantasy that men purchase. We done a video earlier a couple of weeks ago about the Dubai situation, the Dubai porta potty. The women who are taking part of it, they're creating that brand, and and they're getting paid for it, but they have to put in a lot of fucking work, okay? And then instead of putting yourself in as a Middle Eastern sheikh, position yourself as a king. Be seen as a king. Be seen as somebody who is of class, who is not taking a shit on people's chests. I mean, I find that whole shit thing just disgusting. Just get a nice blowjob. Keep it fucking simple, right? Keep it simple and keep it moving, okay? But yeah, just be somebody who is, that women see you, and then women want that should be around you. And the best way to do it is to establish authority, is to become a leader, because the world needs more leaders. There's not enough leaders. There are too many followers, right? When a woman's Instagram, right, like a really, really hot woman's Instagram, let's say she has 100,000 followers, okay? 100,000 followers, right? But there's no marker for how many leaders she has in her life, is there? Right? She has 100,000 followers, but no leaders, right? So why do you want to be another follower in her orbit? You need to be a leader, okay? And the best way to establish yourself as a leader, figure out what you're good at in life, figure out what you are most interested in, right? And whatever that is, become a subject matter expert in that field. Be seen as a point of authority in that field. Be that is your life purpose. Whatever interests you most in life, that is your life purpose. So go for it. Learn more about it. Be the reference for most people, right? When people have a question about that subject, they defer to you about it, okay? That is how you become seen as a point of authority, as a subject matter expert. And when you have that type of control, that type of power, that type of influence, it is only natural that people will see you as a king, okay? There is a switch that turns on inside people's heads, and then they'll be like, okay, that is the person who's in charge of that subject. You are the king of that subject, right? And then once you are the king, you will get all the wealth, all the money. You'll get paid to exist, how this woman's saying, but you actually get paid to exist for your knowledge, for your brains, for your perspective, okay? And once you're getting paid, it is only natural that you are establishing a kingdom. And that is what we are all about on this channel, right? We are not just looking to establish one kingdom, we are looking to establish 100 kingdoms, okay? I don't want to just be here by myself, right? I want to have fun with all the other kings, 100 kings, and 10,000 women who are part of our harems, right? That is the world that we are creating. That is the world we are trying to live. That is how we will rule the world.
And not necessarily from the perspective of like selling your soul and turning your entire life into work, but View yourself as a brand, as an aesthetic, as something to want, as something to desire, as something to want to get to know. What is your aesthetic? What is your mission? What are the things that you care about? And how can you showcase that to society, to life, to people that you know, that show this is who I am, this is the brand that I'm building within, and you should be a part of it too. You get people intrigued, and then you create.
I mean, what she's really talking about is building herself up to be a queen, right? Build a brand. She's building the brand of a queen, right? She's not building a brand of a hooker. She's not building a brand of a prostitute. She's not building her brand of a sugar baby. She's building herself up to be a queen. All right. So then what if she's doing all that work in the background, right? Who is the type of guy that she wants to be with? Okay. It's not just about money, it's also about the aesthetics of it, right? It's also about the thinking about it, right? She's thinking about building a brand. She needs a man who is building a kingdom. Okay. We're not building brands here, right? We don't give a fuck about the brand. We don't give a shit about all that crap. We are building kingdoms. Okay. So we are, whatever she is doing, we're going one step beyond, right? She cannot compete with us. She's gonna catch up to what we are doing because we are 10 steps ahead. Okay, we are intergalactic, we are universal, we are distributing our content ourselves all across the universe, while this woman is thinking just about Instagram. Okay, and when she sees a man like me, when she sees a man like you who understands what it is that we are doing here on this channel, once you are establishing a kingdom, she will become weak at the knees. She will lose all self-control because she sees that she finally has met somebody in her life who is better and greater than her, who is able to beat her in every metric. And naturally, she will defer to you. Naturally, she will want to be with you. Okay, position yourself as a king, and these women will fall in line.
A sense of community around it. Like I mentioned earlier about Martha Stewart, she was just a woman who had an audacious spirit. She said, what is something that people need? What is something that people go towards? So she was taking the things that brought her joy in her own life, like creating a beautiful environment for her guests and hosting and having different things that she was doing that had to do with homemaking. And she completely turned it into a brand and an aesthetic. Be someone who lets their joy, their energy, and their discipline radiate so that other people are enticed enough to see what is this person about and how can I jump on that train. If you stay grounded and assertive in this next chapter, to the world, it looks like you're a marketing genius because you are essentially showing that my wellness journey or me dressing up a certain way or me.
While she is thinking about how to dress, while she is thinking about her wellness journey, while she is thinking about the aesthetics of her brand, about being a marketing genius, we are being the rulers of the earth. Okay. A marketing genius is somebody who's able to use tactics and manipulation, advertising, hacks, knowledge about the human psychology in order to place themselves better within a market. Here at Raw Instinct, we are not marketing geniuses. Okay, we are creating the market, right? We are market creators, right? Which is basically marketing geniuses look at what we are doing and then thinking, how do we beat that system? Well, when we are the owners of that system, right? Do you understand what this is? This is going a level beyond everything that you ever thought of. Okay, if you're trying to be an engineer, right, and you're thinking about how to solve this little problem, we are creating the whole structure for you to be able to live in that system. Okay, you won't be able to establish yourself in that system. You won't be able to live in that system without us. We are the creators of life. We are the creators of hope. We are the creators of the future. Okay, we are creating a new way of living, a new way of being, a new way to be free in this society, in this world. We are creating a new world. We are creating new nations. We are beating the system. We are winning the system. We are creating a whole new system. And that is what we're all about. Okay, because if you take part in the old system, if you're still stuck in the old ways of the world, then in the end you'll be bound down to the evil elites, the evil people at the top, the psychopaths who are currently in charge of the globe, currently in charge of the world, the evil billionaires who just want to suck your blood dry, who want to use you and your labor, and then they will throw you down a ditch. They will throw you into the river. They will sell your soul hoping that you never procreate because they would never want to see your disgusting children in this earth, in this world. Instead, be one of us here on here at Raw Instinct. Be a creator of a new world, a creator of a new nation. Be building a new society. Buy a private island so that people have a choice to come and live in your society, in your nation. And then because you're the king, you get to choose who comes in, who doesn't. Okay. If you don't want any people who believe a certain thing to come into your country, you have the choice. That is what we are all about. We are about exerting our choice, our things that we want to see in the world. We are about creating a world that we believe in. We want to be free.
Kind of creating a specific lifestyle around what brings me joy and what makes me happy, it produces a level of curiosity from people who are not as disciplined and not as assertive and not as driven. And it makes people say, if she can do it, I can do it. And that is how you can really sell it beyond that. And it's really so simple to curate an image that people are intrigued by. If I started getting Russian manicures, wore a blazer, maybe I drove a rented Mercedes for a week, wore really cool sunglasses, bought a really profound book to a high-end luxury coffee shop or bar or dinner spot, and I did that weekly, I'm going to attract a completely different crowd of people than I would have prior to not.
See, what she is doing is she is trying to attract a certain type of guy. She's trying to attract a certain type of person, right? And then because she is trying to get that certain thing, she is thinking, how can I, manipulate myself? How can I change my behavior in order to get a person like that into my life? Okay. That is not how we live. Right, we do not give a shit about attracting certain people into our lives. Right, we are 100% natural. We are 100% ourselves, and we see whoever wants to join us can come join us. Okay, right, because what you're doing is right, like what I'm doing. Basically, take me as an example, right? Okay, right. There's 10 billion people in the world, right? Let's say 10 billion people, right? I'm broadcasting to the world right now. Right, anybody in the world has a choice, right, to come onto YouTube and come across my content, right? They might see it and they'll be like, "Oh, this is not for me," and then they never watch again. They move on with their life, okay, right? But every once in a while, somebody comes and sees what the fuck I'm doing. They understand what it is that I'm doing, what I'm saying. Okay, they want to be a part of it. That is the right person. All of a sudden, you found a needle in a haystack, right? And that needle for me, right? Because I'm looking for 100 needles, by the way, right? Not just one, right? But those 100 people self-select. They say, okay, they're like, yeah, I want to be a part of it. I want to be a part of it. Choose me, choose me, choose me, okay? And then I'm like, yeah, come join us. Come join the Kings, right? Come join the Royal Alliance. Come join the Amicis, okay? I let them in, right? They prove their worth to us, okay? Like, wouldn't I want to be fucking friends with that type of person, right? They went to all that effort, they went through all those processes, okay? But I didn't change anything about myself, all right? I'm still the same person. I'm still talking the same. I still have the same beliefs. I don't give two shits about anybody, right? Unless you're part of my fucking crew, okay? So I'm not changing any part of myself, right? Whereas that woman is changing every aspect of her to attract me. Do you get the difference, right? She's doing everything to get a man like me, right? Whereas I'm not changing anything. I'm just being myself and then seeing, all right, whoever comes along, okay? And whether this woman wants to come along, I don't give a shit, okay? She can be there if she's nice, quiet, doesn't cause a fuss, doesn't piss me off, right? She can stay there. And over time, like if she's pleasant enough, I'll start liking her. I enjoy her company, and then maybe I do want to speak to her, right? And then she makes me laugh. She's kind of cute, right? And then now it's my favorite little new toy. Okay. And that is how the world works if you are a king.
Not doing that. So figure out who you want your demographic to be and what exactly you're trying to put out there and how exactly can you benefit from this thing. So for example, I know that my mission has always been helping women and creating a life that is soft and peaceful and still very hardworking, but I get
She wants to be soft and peaceful, yet a little bit hardworking. Okay. What it means is she wants to do the things that she likes and work at those things because they don't feel like hard work. But she wants to be soft. She wants to be, at peace. Okay. If she wants softness and peaceness, right, she needs a man, right, who's able to thrive in times of chaos, when there's uncertainty in the world. Okay, she needs somebody who is able to go beyond her capabilities, right? Because if you want to stay soft, if you want to stay peaceful, right, like as a man, you ain't gonna have a fucking great life. Okay, which is why here at Raw Instinct, we are preparing for war, we are raising armies, we are establishing kingdoms. Okay, why kingdoms? Okay, why not just a nation? Because kingdoms require castle walls, kingdoms require armies, soldiers. Okay, we are going straight to the top. We are being the people in charge, right? That is what we are all about. We are all about living life of greatness. Let me just quickly jump back in this video before we finish, and let me skip ahead a little bit.
Hurts your life or benefits it. So when I choose on a Saturday night to go to an affluent restaurant, to maybe enjoy myself, to have a really nice meal, versus going somewhere where there's going to be a big club and bar scene, and maybe at the affluent restaurant there's going to be an older crowd, more knowledgeable.
She wants older men, more knowledgeable men. She wants an affluent crowd. She wants to be around success. She doesn't want the glitz and glam of a party. She doesn't want to get drunk. She wants to be around wealth, power, and knowledge. Okay. She wants, and that's why being a king, being an older man, if you're an older gentleman, I think it's too late for you. You have got it totally wrong. The only thing that is holding you back is your weakness inside your mind, your self-doubt. And here at Raw Instinct, we remove that. We put you in a position where you are free to express yourself, where you are fully confident, where you are able to be the person that you are meant to be. And that is how we find your life purpose. That is how we find the thing that you are most passionate about. We curate a subject matter expertise around that field. Position yourself in that as a subject matter expert, and then once the world sees you as that, as a point of authority, it is only right that you are seen as a king. That is what we're all about. That is what we're doing on this channel. If you want to be a part of it, if you want to join, let me know. But that is it for today. Thank you. And